Hey, Coach, just wanted to get your initial thoughts on looking back at the film. I know the result wasn't quite what you wanted Friday, but a big bounce back, great resurgence from this team Saturday to get the big win against St. Thomas and get 4 points.
Yeah, it was a good weekend for our group. You go out every weekend trying to win every hockey game, and that's a really good hockey club over there. And we all knew that coming in. There's a reason why they're ranked in the top 15 and showing great resiliency their group throughout the year and won a lot of big hockey games. But I loved our response Saturday. You come back wanting to get the win at home on Saturday. We couldn't afford a sweep, against you this time of year. And we don't play enough games where you have weekday games to get right back, on the horse and get going. So we needed to have a performance. They came out and scored right off the bat. And when we talk about resiliency, I think that's what you saw out of our group. We didn't have any panic in our game. They went up 1-0 the first minute. And, from that point on, I thought we did a really good job, controlling the 5-on-5 play. I thought our special teams picked up our penalty kill, especially down that stretch. The night before, they had 2 power play goals. They started with a power play goal right off the hop, and then we killed the rest of them, which was good, timely ones. And obviously, on the 6-on-5, Jacob Simon was great net. But all weekend, we went without giving up any 5-on-5 goals. I think is a real credit to our group's buy-in to playing without the puck, structure, defending from the inside out, and making it really difficult to play against. So, I said overall, really good effort. Really happy for the guys.
Structure and attention to detail been one of the most important things to see this enhanced 5-on-5 play as the season has gone on for this group.
Yeah, I think the guys have really, I really think we've done a good job of, again, defending from inside the dots, making it difficult to get to the net, doing our job to stop second, third chances. And we're not going to do it every time. That's when your goalies have to step up and make a play. And then offensively, I thought we've had a lot of good O-zone time, which then you play less in your zone, off it. And I tell the guys, if you don't want to defend, play in the offensive zone and hang on to the puck, off it. And if you do that, you're not going to play in your end. So our guys have, I feel like they do a really good job. Our tracking has been really good. We've been keeping, pretty good numbers in the picture. Every time I tell them I pause, a frame in video, I should see 5 guys in it. If we don't have 5 guys, we're not really connected, So, but for the most part, it's been really good. I've been really happy with everybody. Other guys stepped up in the lineup that maybe haven't played a lot of minutes. We talked this morning about Ivan. We talked about Jack Blake stepping up playing minutes for us. Up front, we moved Zelinkin for, he's been injured there for quite some time. He came in, did good things for us. Max Martin played a good game for us both nights. So it's been good, but we need to continue to build off that. We've had a good couple days of practice, and we got a tough opponent again.
Yeah, just kind of continuing with that attention to detail, it seems like the icings maybe a little less frequent, more tips near center ice as well, and just kind of making sure pucks are getting deep too. Yeah. Is that a trend you're seeing as well?
Yeah, you got to manage them. There's a fine line when you play with a stretch guy. You got to shoulder check, see if you got time and space. If you got time and space, collect that puck and go in. If not, you got to put it behind their D and make sure we sustain a good forecheck. I feel like we forecheck strong. I think we're on guys pretty hard. We have good second quicks going to the offensive zone. We made a little adjustment there against St. Thomas. They were weak side rimming that puck a lot, so we moved our F3 third forward in a little more dot lane above their winger so we can anticipate some of those weak side releases they were doing, and I thought we did a really good job adjusting and capitalizing, keeping pucks in zone. For the first game, they were catching us quite a bit going up that weak side. We didn't make that in-game adjustment, made it for Saturday and saw a drastic difference. But again, if you can play behind their D, you're going to have a better chance of winning hockey games than in front of them. And I think our group, did a good job of, especially that third period, of just settling everything down. I think I sometimes use the term a boring period. A boring period is also a winning period, because you're just playing, for like we're playing to win the game, but we're also eliminating freebies. We like to say, you want to make sure if they're gonna have any opportunities, they got to come the full 200 feet.
Coach, one of those guys that maybe we see inserted into the lineup once a weekend, a local kid, does a great job. Adam Zelinka seems to be one that's just continuing to grind, and especially defensively we're seeing that. But offensively, I think the points will come too. What have you seen from him when you've been able to get him some ice time?
Yeah, Adam, he's a real good player. Second-year guy, understands the expectations, the standard, how we got to play. sometimes what's hard for some of those players are they he's a flex player. He can go up and down your lineup. He can, even last year, he was in and out of the lineup for us. When he was in the lineup, he was on our second power play unit. When he wasn't, like he would, be healthy scratch and he's out, he'd come back, he'd be back on it. He's a player that I feel can be a real good attribute, on a fourth checking line, on guys. He skates well, thinks the game well, but he can also go up your line and play with other skilled guys, in more offensive situations because he has a really good stick in mind for the game. So, obviously experience is important, this time of year, and hopefully he's, just he's getting his groove back, and hopefully we can continue to see his game grow, and be a factor for us down the stretch.
Yeah, Coach, now that you've had some time to look at film, I know you've talked a lot about the last couple of weekends about chances that you've had, grade A's, grade B's, things like that. Felt like the offense was good, 5v5, the 4-on-4 you had a goal on, and power play as well. Just looking at film over this weekend, just how do you feel that scoring went, and especially possessing the puck in the O-zone?
Yeah, I thought it went really well. We probably could have scored a few more. I'm sure they could have scored a few more too right off it, but the quality of chances were there. We're getting in the right areas. Just like it's tough for teams to play against us 5-on-5, it's tough for us to play against them 5-on-5 as well. They're coached well, good goaltending, good structure. It's kind of like who's the team that can capitalize on their, could be one or two opportunities, like big time grade A ones right off it. And we found the better side of it obviously on Saturday. But what I liked was we had layers in the offensive zone. So we weren't like double stacked net front and causing, four guys to stand there. I thought we had good separation. We had real smart play by our D. We weren't forcing pucks. We had to make a little adjustment there in the third. I thought they were fronting pucks really well. Every time they were fronting, I noticed their forwards then would just take off up ice because, they got to try to get a goal, which is a common theme. So we talked to our D. Our D's goal is always to get it by the first layer. So that winger's coming out, his job is to get it by him. Then it's up to our forwards net front to, be able to maneuver, get a tip or get a box out on it themselves. But what they were starting to do was that D-man wasn't even worried about our forward net front. Knowing that it's a wrist shot, he was looking to front it, knock it down and try to, spring a guy up the ice. And so I thought our D from that point on did a really good job of making a smart decision of, okay, can I get this puck to the net? If not, trap release and let's go back to work.
A lot as well about living in the offensive zone because less time that the opponent spends in your zone as well. But the defense this weekend, number one scoring team in the CCHA coming in, you're able to hold them pretty tight, and especially 59 minutes straight. Steinman held them in the second game. How did you feel about Steinman and also the way the defense played without Goose for most of the weekend as well?
D were great. D played really good. Simple. Good with good intent. Like they weren't, overextending themselves. They played within their means, their realm of what they need to play. I thought, D were doing a good job surfing, killing plays. Guys like Ivan did a good job of being able to, seal guys off and bring a physicality standpoint. I thought they did a good job of getting pucks up ice and off their stick and playing fast with pace off it. And like I said, any breakdown we had, Jacob was there. And, at the point they pulled their goalie with about 5 minutes left, I think shots were like 20-20, and it ended up like 29-20, and to hold that team for about 5 minutes of 6-on-5, was really good job by, our forwards and D, and then any breakdown, obviously Jacob was there. So it was a good weekend. I thought he played really well. Obviously goalie of the week was recognized, which was great. And again, when right now we have two goalies going, one Friday, one Saturday, and they're both giving us an opportunity to win. So it's good in that factor.
Yeah, the rest of the season's increasingly getting shorter. Is there a focus on you and the coaching staff as well to maybe keep the minds of the guys off the standings and just focus game by game, or is there more of a sense of urgency going into these last 3 weeks?
No, I'm sure everyone knows what the standings are. We don't really talk about it. That's been even since day one. Off it, like it's always, we always say, like, you got to live in the now. It's important. Like I said to the guys, Saturday, you win the game, you enjoy it for 24 hours. And we got to get back to work because we are down to 3 weekends of hockey and then playoffs. Like it's coming pretty fast. So it's important that if we want to play as long as we can, we have to stick to the buy-in right now, off it. And as well as it's going, it can go the opposite direction just as fast, but what I like with our group is they're on that line of playing confident right now. They should. They feel good in their game. We feel good about them in their game, but not to the point where it takes you over that threshold. Like there's still work to be done. We have a standard we play to. Today in practice, no different. The first drill was a little bit too light. Guys feeling so that fine line of feeling really good, but still we got to put work in. And that got tightened up pretty quick. We had a great practice. Off it, and it's short, sweet, to the point. And we got to get off the ice right now, manage their energy level, manage their bodies, make a few tweaks for what we need for Augustana, and it's been good.
Yeah, Michigan Tech and Augustana, 2 of the last 3 teams, and 2 teams you haven't played yet this season. Is there challenges or benefits to play in teams that you haven't seen yet going into these last couple weeks? And even Minnesota State's been a while since you've seen them.
I don't know. Like I said, it's my first trip to Augustana, and they're obviously playing great hockey, off it, and it's kind of weird how it worked out that way, and it's gonna be my first trip to Tech as well. Both these guys that we haven't seen since last year, and whenever Augustana came here in probably January, February, and played Tech in the playoffs. So it seems like forever, almost a year since we played them. And I was just saying to Vince on the way up, it's kind of funny how it's worked out that way. 4 of our last 6 games are against opponents we haven't got to play, but obviously Augustana's playing great hockey, and great goaltending, great special teams, good speed, really good structure. It's going into their environment, a lot different than playing at home. So we're going to have to go in with a really good road mindset. Make sure we're playing a game that is, again, efficient and effective, and to our identity. If we want to try to play their game, I say all the time, in their rank, we're not going to win. We got to go in and focus how we want to play, and it should be another good series.
Just going back for the Augustana series, you talk about tweaks that are going to need to be made. Are there, just off the top of your head, any specific ones that need to be made, and just how to go forward with that?
Yeah, well, we'll probably have to watch Friday off that. I can't tell you that. They're probably listening to this right now. I can't give you my game plan, can I? There will be a few, though, for sure.
South on the call. Peter, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Hi, Peter.
Can you hear me? Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good. So we all know players look at stats, and they're going to see that Josh Kota is one of the top goalies in the NCAA. We also know players, when they see that, they want to get too fine sometimes in their shooting. How are you going to address dealing with a goaltender like this?
Yeah, well, we've if you look at within our whole league, there's a lot of good goalies, right? So it's the same. You got to get traffic over these guys, right? You're probably not going to beat him with any type of shot that he can see from anywhere outside the top of the circles or dots. So it's going to be even more important to get into the inside lateral, movement and traffic's going to be important. You're going to have to score goals, kind of like how Ben Duran scored this weekend. Ivan came in, took the shot, rebound, kind of whacked in another one through the 5-hole, off it. And so, credit to him. He's a heck of a goalie. You look through the league right now in the CCHA, when we played Tracy and Mankato, Tech's goalies up there. You go through Northern Michigan, Lake State, like every team's got real good goaltending, and obviously Kotai's an exceptional one with the year he's having and what he's doing. So it's going to be really important that we live on the inside. We can't be on the outside.
Good. This time of year, puck management, situational awareness are 2 big things. How are you feeling your guys have developed through the year in regards to those 2 situations?
I think we've done a really good job. There's going to be turnovers, right? We all know that at different times. So I always tell our guys, you're going to turn the puck over, and that's fine. But what do you do after you turn the puck over? Are you a palms up guy? Do a big loop and skate, or do you stop, get back 3 hard strides, look to get under the stick, look to close off that guy's time and space, allowing our D to have a good gap. So, for me, it's all about, you do your best. Players don't try to turn the puck over. You try to teach them where to manage the puck. And obviously we were all brought up the blue lines and, whether it's reading numbers and then from there, how do you deposit the puck so you have the best opportunity to get it back? We don't chip pucks, right? You put them into areas where you're going to get it back. So sometimes you might be on a 1-on-4. Guys are changing on the weak side. Instead of a soft dump, that should probably be a hard rim because our fresh guys can get off the bench and go help. So, you try to educate and teach the guys that, put them in situations and practice to succeed and to fail, so that when they get to the game, it becomes hopefully, second nature. But if you don't manage pucks right now and give teams, I call them layups, like if they don't have to come 200 feet, they're probably in a good position to play in your zone and score. So we want to just continue to be diligent with the puck. We want creativity below the tops of the circle, and then from there we want to stay connected as 5 on our tracking and our reloads.
Final question: are we going to see Goose back in the lineup this weekend?
Yeah, Goose will be back up this weekend.
Good. Have a great trip.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, behind every teddy bear toss is kind of a greater cause. You have some players going to a local hospital today to deliver the teddy bears to some kids. What can you say about your players using their platform for something greater than sport?
Yeah, it's obviously great. It's one thing sports does, right, is we get to play a game, but as I always say to our players, we get to, we're in the fun part. There's a real life out there after. And for our guys, twofold, it's nice that we scored early in the game, made a lot of stress from a coaching staff off our mind. And then to see the players out there with the teddy bears today, like you said, being able to go up to the hospitals to visit and drop those off and visit with children up there what it brings is real perspective to why we do this, and the game we get to play is it's a byproduct. We're the fortunate ones right now because we get to go out and lace them up, and any time we can help assist in anything like the teddy bear toss is one thing that has really crept in and has been a fixture in hockey especially. It's a great opportunity, a great cause, and I know our guys are looking forward to heading north up to the Toledo area to deliver those bears today.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.